YouTube's counting views with a new set of rules.
Casual clicks vanish, only engagement fuels.
The autopsy's here, there's room to debate.
We own our data, we won't hesitate. We released a video that we thought explained why a lot of creators are noticing a major drop in their views.
Well, first off, I think it's the most important thing to say is we got some pushback, including from some people. I believe one of them was a 2 million subscriber channel. So let's explain what the theory was. Our theory was that the reason people are noticing view drops across the board, which is not something specific, people were saying, oh, it's just because you guys make slop content and nobody wants it. Okay, but that doesn't explain what's going on here, because it was something that everybody noticed. And we discovered through data that we believe what ended up happening was that YouTube no longer counts regular views. You now need to have watched past a certain amount of time and interacted with the video, or what was called an engaged view. However, I want to clarify, we were wrong. Yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We were wrong about what engaged views and regular views were. However, we are not wrong about the results, and we will get to that, and I'll explain it all. When there was an update that came out, not that long ago, before around March of 2025, how things worked were views and engaged views on videos were the same, meaning that they were very similar. We believed that, oh, they're only now the same thing, and that was where we went wrong, was that because it seemed based on the data that we were correct, and if the data was correct, we would have been correct, but we weren't. What ended up happening is people were saying, and you're seeing these two numbers that are the same is because views and engaged views are the same.
It is true to an extent, and it is not true to an extent.
YouTube creators put out a video explaining this difference between shorts, and there's a couple quotes that you can see.
Going forward, views will count the number of times your short starts to play or replay with no minimum watch time requirement. We'll keep the existing shorts view metric, which will now be called engaged views, so you can see how many viewers choose to continue watching.
So what does this mean? It means that, yes, views and engaged views were the same thing. So we were wrong. They were always the same thing. However, the reason we're noticing is they're not anymore. When it comes to shorts, they are now two separate metrics. What does it mean? Well, honey, do you want to read views and engaged views right next to that?
Views. When a video starts or replays with no minimum watch time requirement, according to YouTube, versus engaged views, when a viewer continues watching past an unspecified certain watch time.
The metrics have been separated. We were saying they were the same. So what gives? What are we saying now? Well, now views and engaged views are no longer the same thing. However, our theory is this. We were technically right when we said regular views and engaged views are the same thing, except they are now all engaged views, meaning that engaged views has overwritten the regular view count. Now, we can't say this for certain because we don't have that data. We had a lot of data showing, hey, views and engaged views are the same thing, and et cetera, et cetera. And we were wrong with that. It seemed right based on the data, but we were wrong. However, the conclusion is still engagement is key now to your videos gaining any traction. But wait, ask, well, if the data was wrong, then how can you prove this?
I would say that maybe the fact that literally everyone except for a few people in our comments were agreeing with us, and also channels that have nothing to do with pop culture were also noticing a dip in their view counts, significant dips in their view counts, and also said, hey, this might actually said on our video, hey, this might actually explain why my views have been down lately.
Everybody has noticed it. Things start to go down. You tend to reflect and go, hey, did I do something wrong? Am I out of touch? The answer is no, you're not out of touch. What's ending up happening is point blank, whether engaged views or regular views are the same thing or not, because to be fair, we're saying that they're separate now, and that is true for shorts. We don't know if that's the case for regular videos. What we do know is that based on all the things that we are seeing and based on all the people in the comments who were telling us that they were noticing the same thing, we can come to a pretty definitive claim based on consensus in regards to this. So our data may have been flawed, but the consensus and the result is still true. Basically, what's ending up happening now, let's explain how the videos are judged now.
Views. Start played. A view counts the moment playback begins, even if they leave immediately. Watched past X seconds. Viewer sticks around long enough to register. Engaged view. Interacts/watches to threshold. Only these drive recommendations and monetization. Algorithm filters here.
We are correct. Engagement is the only thing that's driving videos now. If somebody clicks and doesn't engage with your video, it doesn't count. Now, people might say, well, wait a minute, that how are you getting your video has a certain amount of likes, a certain amount of, comments, but it's got more views. How does that work? Well, it's not just engagement. It is also watching past a certain amount of time, which we did mention in the video, but we could have clarified better. And that's what we're doing here.
What we're doing here is we are following up our initial findings. And yes, we did make some mistakes. We will own that we made mistakes. We could have done more research. We could have looked into the data better, and we could have phrased things better. But you know what? We're not afraid to own up to those mistakes.
The conclusion still holds. We're going to say that if you watch a video, if you click on a video and you watch it, and you don't watch it for the amount of time that you need to, and you don't like or comment or whatever, that doesn't count anymore. There's been a drop in views across the board for all kinds of creators, not just people who cover pop culture. It's hitting everyone. YouTube has changed things and is not telling anybody. That is a thing also. And the majority of people are noticing that engagement now holds more sway over what you're doing now. Long story short, there is something wrong with YouTube. Engagement is king. If you do not engage with the video, and that means like it, comment, subscribe, or watch past a certain amount of time, then your view no longer counts. If that is the case, you will not see the same viewership because some people just passively watch videos. And for all we know, you could watch most of the video and stop before the end, and that may not count. We don't know. Mm-hmm. The thing that we should be asking is, hey, if all these creators are noticing this, when is it time for YouTube to give us what we want? Answers.
I would say yesterday, but we all know YouTube isn't going to because it's YouTube.
Like the video, break the algorithm spell, share with your crew. Escape mind's hell, from spooky memes to advice obscure. Here's your dark solace of humor as a cure.